A common octopus rests on a coral reef, virtually invisible against the textured rock. Then, in less than a second, everything changes. The animal erupts in color, transforming from mottled brown to brilliant red, then to stark white, then back to perfect camouflage. The transformation happens so quickly you might miss it if you blink. Meanwhile, each of the creature's 8 arms moves independently, one probing a crevice for prey, another anchoring the body to the rock, a third reaching toward a passing fish with curiosity. This is not magic. This is biology, and the anatomy that makes it possible is unlike anything else on Earth. Subscribe now, because what you are about to discover will reveal why octopuses might be the most alien creatures on our planet. The octopus represents one of evolution's most radical experiments in body design. Our last common ancestor with octopuses existed 600 million years ago and resembled a flatworm, perhaps only millimeters long. From that humble beginning, we evolved in utterly different directions. We developed internal skeletons, 4 limbs, and centralized nervous systems. Octopuses went another route entirely. They abandoned shells that their ancestors possessed. They distributed their intelligence across their bodies. They developed arms that can taste what they touch. They created a body plan so flexible, so alien, that understanding it requires us to abandon almost everything we assume about how animals are built. Today, we explore the anatomy of the octopus in extraordinary detail. We will discover how they change color in milliseconds, how their arms possess minds of their own, why they have 3 hearts and blue blood, and how a creature with no bones can generate the strength to crack open shellfish. We will witness biological engineering so sophisticated it challenges our understanding of what bodies can do. This is a story of distributed intelligence, of bodies without blueprints, of evolution creating something that seems designed by an alien mind. Let us begin. The octopus body divides into 2 main sections, the head and the mantle. What we might call the head contains the brain, eyes, and mouth, with 8 arms extending from the base. The mantle, that bulbous, balloon-like structure, houses all the internal organs. But here is the first remarkable thing. Octopuses have no bones. They are true invertebrates. The only hard structure in the entire body is the beak, a parrot-like apparatus made of chitin hidden at the center of the arms. This absence of a skeleton means an octopus can squeeze through any opening larger than its beak. A 50-pound octopus can compress itself through a hole the size of a coin. The mantle is highly muscular, protecting the organs while facilitating respiration. Water enters a cavity at the base of the mantle, flows over the gills where oxygen is extracted, and exits through a flexible tube called the siphon. The octopus can direct this expelled water for jet propulsion, shooting through the ocean at surprising speeds when threatened. The skin covering this entire structure is where the real magic happens. It is not simply skin. It is an organ system of extraordinary complexity, capable of changing color, pattern, and texture in milliseconds. The octopus's ability to change color rivals anything in the animal kingdom, and it operates through multiple layers of specialized cells working in concert. The outermost layer contains chromatophores, organs consisting of pigment-filled sacs surrounded by radial muscles. When nerve signals arrive, these muscles contract, pulling the sac open and spreading pigment across the skin like expanding pixels on a screen. When the muscles relax, elastic tissue in the sac causes it to snap back to a tiny point, becoming nearly invisible. Each chromatophore operates independently under direct neural control, allowing the octopus to create patterns with resolution finer than most predators can perceive. The pigments are typically red, yellow, or brown. These colors are particularly useful at the depths where many octopuses live, as these are the wavelengths of light that penetrate deepest into ocean water. But how do octopuses create blues, greens, and iridescent colors if they only possess red, yellow, and brown pigments? The answer lies in the layer beneath the chromatophores, the iridophores. Iridophores are stacks of extremely thin cells containing proteins called reflectins. These structures reflect light at specific wavelengths, creating colors through structural coloration rather than pigmentation, similar to how butterfly wings create color. The color an iridophore displays depends on the viewing angle, appearing blue from above, but shifting to red when viewed obliquely. Beneath the iridophores lie leucophores, cells that scatter light across the full spectrum, appearing white like polar bear fur. Leucophores reflect whatever wavelengths of light strike them, providing a white backdrop that intensifies the chromatophores above and helps octopuses match the ambient light color at different depths. By coordinating chromatophores, iridophores, and leucophores, octopuses create convincing copies of their surroundings. But there is more. The skin can also change texture. Papillae are sections of skin that can deform to create bumps, ridges, and spikes. They operate through a muscular hydrostatic mechanism using incompressible fluids within the tissue to create three-dimensional structures. An octopus can transform from smooth to covered in horn-like projections in seconds, mimicking coral, rocks, or seaweed. This texture-changing ability serves multiple purposes. It helps the octopus blend with complex surfaces. More importantly, it disrupts the animal's outline. Many predators hunt by looking for edges and breaks in the background. By adding texture, the octopus becomes difficult to recognize as an animal at all. Here is where the story becomes truly bizarre. Octopuses are colorblind. Despite creating color matches with remarkable precision, they possess only one photopigment in their eyes. They should not be able to distinguish colors at all. Yet, they can match colored backgrounds, even when their eyes are removed. How? Recent research discovered opsins, light-sensitive proteins, distributed throughout octopus skin. These skin opsins differ from eye opsins by only a single amino acid. The skin can detect ambient light levels and potentially even color information independently of the eyes. The octopus may quite literally see with its skin. Some researchers propose that octopuses do not truly match colors, but instead create disruption patterns at a resolution exceeding their predator's visual acuity. The predator cannot discern a difference, so the octopus effectively disappears, even without a perfect color match. The control system for this remarkable skin is equally astonishing. At the most basic level, the skin responds automatically to light without brain input. Excised octopus skin adjusts to changing light levels autonomously, with chromatophores expanding in brighter conditions. At a higher level, the eyes and massive optic lobes process visual information and generate complete patterns. These patterns are sent to chromatophore control lobes, which dispatch signals to the skin. But there is no feedback loop. The brain creates the pattern, sends the commands, and never knows what the skin actually produced. The system is open loop. Get it wrong and you die. As one researcher noted, predators are the designers of octopus skin. Selection, not monitoring, ensures accuracy. At the highest level, octopuses appear capable of voluntary pattern changes. They can escalate defensive displays, switching strategies if one pattern fails to deter a predator. This suggests conscious control over an otherwise largely autonomous system. Each of the 8 arms is a marvel of biological engineering. Unlike human arms with rigid bones as leverage points, octopus arms are muscular hydrostats, and they use the incompressibility of water within their tissues to create stiffness and leverage. The arms contain longitudinal, transverse, and oblique muscle groups that can compress, extend, and twist the arm in virtually any direction. Despite having no skeleton, octopus arms can generate tremendous force and perform extraordinarily precise movements. Running down the center of each arm is an axial nerve cord containing approximately 50 million neurons. For comparison, a cat has about 250 million neurons in its entire brain. Each octopus arm has roughly 1/5 the neural complexity of a cat's entire nervous system. These axial nerve cords allow each arm to operate semi-autonomously. Arms can hunt for food, manipulate objects, and solve problems without input from the central brain. The arms can even continue moving and responding to stimuli after being severed from the body. The nerve cords in all 8 arms connect to each other through a nerve ring at the base, allowing signals to pass directly from arm to arm without involving the central brain. This distributed intelligence makes octopuses fundamentally different from animals with centralized nervous systems. On the underside of each arm, in 2 parallel rows, are the suckers. These cylindrical organs are how octopuses grip, manipulate, and sense their world. Each sucker operates like a sophisticated suction cup. The octopus presses the outer ring against a surface, then uses muscles to increase the volume of the inner chamber, creating a vacuum seal. Each sucker can be controlled independently, and the largest suckers on a giant Pacific octopus can support 35 pounds each. But suckers do more than grip. The inner surface contains chemoreceptors and mechanoreceptors, allowing the octopus to taste and feel at the same time. An octopus touching an object with its suckers receives information about texture, shape, chemical composition, and taste all at once. Taste and touch signals arrive together. This creates a sensory experience utterly foreign to us. Imagine if every time you touched something, you also tasted it. Octopuses experience their world through a constant flood of tactile and chemical information from hundreds of individual sensors. This is a truly sensory world. Male octopuses often possess a specialized arm called the hectocotylus, typically the third right arm. This arm has a groove running along its length and a specialized tip called the ligula. During reproduction, the male uses this arm to transfer packets of sperm called spermatophores into the female's mantle cavity. In some species, the hectocotylus detaches entirely during mating, remaining in the female to fertilize her eggs while the male dies soon after. The octopus eye resembles our own in many ways, despite evolving entirely independently. Both are camera eyes, with a lens that focuses images on a retina, but the similarities end there. Octopus eyes have horizontal, W-shaped pupils. The eyes do not sit in sockets. They are surrounded by muscles that can move the entire organ independently across the head. Octopuses lack eyelids. However, flexible ring muscles can cover the cornea for protection. Octopus eyes have a relatively low ratio of rods to cones, indicating adaptation for daytime vision. The optic lobes are massive structures adjacent to the eyes that process visual information. These lobes are so large, they contain more neurons than the central brain itself. At the center of the 8 arms sits the beak, the only hard structure in the octopus body. Made of chitin, the same material as insect exoskeletons, the beak resembles a parrot beak and is razor sharp. The beak sits within a muscular structure called the buccal mass, which connects it to the esophagus. Inside this mass is the radula, a tongue-like organ covered in tiny teeth. The radula works like a sandpaper treadmill, rasping away at food and, when necessary, drilling through shells that are too hard for the beak to crack. Most octopuses possess at least one venom gland along the esophagus. They deliver venom through their saliva, often using it to paralyze prey before consumption. Food passes from the beak through the esophagus to a crop, a holding area where digestive enzymes begin breaking down proteins. Here is where octopus anatomy becomes almost comical. The esophagus passes directly through the center of the donut-shaped brain. This creates an obvious problem. An octopus that swallows something too large literally risks brain damage. Scientists have actually found octopuses with this type of injury, proof that even evolution's cleverest designs sometimes create bizarre vulnerabilities. From the crop, food moves to the stomach, where nutrients are absorbed directly without a small intestine. Waste passes to the cecum and exits through the siphon along with exhaled water. Perhaps the strangest aspect of octopus anatomy is the brain structure. The central brain forms a ring around the esophagus, but this central brain contains only about 10% of the octopus' total neurons. 60% reside in the arms, with the remainder in the optic lobes and other structures. The central brain handles higher-level processing, decision-making, and coordination. But the arms possess genuine intelligence of their own. They can hunt independently, manipulate objects, and solve problems without waiting for instructions from headquarters. This distributed nervous system allows for parallel processing that is impossible in centralized brains. While one arm investigates a crevice, another can manipulate a shell, a third can anchor the body, and the central brain can simultaneously process visual information and plan the next move. Octopuses have 3 hearts. 2 branchial hearts, called gill hearts, pump blood through the 2 gills to collect oxygen. The larger systemic heart pumps oxygenated blood throughout the body. This 3-heart system maintains blood pressure more effectively than a single heart could. The blood itself is blue, colored by a copper-based oxygen-carrying protein called hemocyanin rather than the iron-based hemoglobin in our blood. Hemocyanin is more efficient than hemoglobin at carrying oxygen in cold water and low oxygen conditions. Antarctic octopuses have even higher concentrations of hemocyanin in their blood, allowing them to survive in frigid waters that would kill other species. The gills extract oxygen from water flowing through the mantle cavity. The octopus is an obligate ram ventilator in the sense that it must actively pump water over its gills to breathe, though it does so by muscular contraction of the mantle rather than by swimming. Along the digestive tract sits the ink sac, an organ producing melanin mixed with mucus. When threatened, octopuses can expel this ink through the siphon, creating a dark cloud that confuses predators visually while also interfering with their senses of smell and taste. The ink is not toxic, but rather a distraction. It tastes appealing to predators, who often attack the ink cloud while the octopus escapes. Humans have even consumed octopus ink in pasta dishes and found it palatable. The octopus's body plan represents a fundamentally different solution to the challenges of survival than the one vertebrates pursued. Where we centralized our nervous systems and built rigid internal frameworks, octopuses distributed their intelligence and abandoned structure entirely. The result is a creature of almost liquid flexibility, capable of squeezing through impossibly small spaces, changing appearance in milliseconds, and solving problems with a radically decentralized nervous system. Each component of the octopus's anatomy, from the chromatophores in the skin to the autonomous intelligence in each arm, reflects evolutionary solutions arrived at along a completely separate path from our own. We have been evolving independently for 600 million years, and it shows. Scientists estimate there are over 300 species of octopus, each with variations on this basic body plan. Some have fins, others lack them. Some are tiny, others enormous. But all share this fundamental architecture: distributed intelligence, flexible bodies, sophisticated sensory systems, and the ability to transform their appearance at will. Studying octopus anatomy is not just about understanding another animal. It is about confronting the reality that intelligence, consciousness, and sophisticated behavior can emerge from body plans utterly unlike our own. The octopus reminds us that nature has created countless solutions to survival's challenges, and ours is just one among many. If this exploration of octopus anatomy has fascinated you, please like this video and subscribe. The ocean holds countless creatures whose bodies challenge everything we think we know about biology. Leave a comment. What aspect of octopus biology should we explore next? Their intelligence and behavior, their reproduction and life cycle, or perhaps how they use tools and solve puzzles? Thank you for watching. And remember, beneath the waves swims a creature with 3 hearts, 9 brains, and blue blood, capable of transformations that seem magical but are simply the result of evolution, exploring radically different possibilities. Until next time, keep exploring the unknown.